What's going on, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I talk about my top 10 essential buys, must-reads, or recommended reads for the month of February of 2022. So let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Now, before getting started, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day. All of that helps with our YouTube, Uncanny Omar, man, he is starting off rough today. YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. And I want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons, whether they're new or whether they've been with us from the very beginning, whenever we kicked off our Patreon. Thank you all for making videos like this possible. Now, I always like to stress that sometimes the schedule might move things around, so please always keep that in mind. It's just, this is the latest dates that I have for these books. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with Astonishing X-Men. Of course I'm recommending this. This is the series that, to me, represented what comics were. This is when I came back to comics. You know, I left comics during Onslaught. I had been reading comics since I was 5-6 years old. And I took a break. You know, in high school, I was getting into college. So Onslaught was kind of like nail in the coffin. I'm done with comics. I've outgrown them. A friend of mine told me to come back to check out some of the stuff, and I was like, I don't know. They gave me Grant Morrison's amazing run on New X-Men. They did an amazing job with that. They gave me, you know, Garth Ennis's Punisher and a couple of other books. But I decided to start checking out Astonishing X-Men. I was a big fan of Buffy. I read the series, issues 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think what sealed the deal was issue number 6. I was the moment of I've got 2 words for you. One of the best moments in comics history to me. And yeah, it was what made me realize not only am I going back to reading comics, I'm never leaving again. And look where we are now. So I am very grateful for this book. It's a great just reassembling of the team, and I love it. It's phenomenal. John Cassaday supplies the artwork in the entire saga. So this, again, will have 2 covers, and yes, if you've not read it, and you're a fan of even if you haven't read a lot of X-Men, you need to check this out. Next book is one that I said that I would definitely add on the list, and that is Milestone Compendium Volume 1. Now, it's not an omnibus. It's not the way that I would have collected these stories, but I'm glad it's coming, and I hope we get more. This is the classic Milestone era. You have Dwayne McDuffie, who was a phenomenal creator. Dennis Cohen, M.D. Bright, Bob Smith. So collecting Blood Syndicate 1 through 12, Hardware 1 through 12, Icon 1 through 10, Static 1 through 8, Zombie 0 through 11, and Shadow Cabinet number 0. I just hope this means we get more of this, because it's a series of books that, you know, not a lot of people talked about. They were kind of like this era of comics, much like the Malibu comics, you know, these short-lived runs on comics that a lot of creators worked on, and nobody really talks about, or I don't hear enough people talk about, until recently when they started bringing back the Milestone universe, and there's some damn good stories in there. Those Icon stories are awesome. If you want to check out what Maddie thought, I think she did an old reader, new reader on Icon, so I'm glad those stories are coming back for a whole new generation to enjoy, and for our generation, and the generation before us, and the generation before them to revisit again. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You like how I threw the different generations trying to say that I'm not that old? I'm just fighting age, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the IDW Collection Volume 1. It is coming out in trade paperback format, $39.99. It collects the first 12 issues of the IDW series, plus the micro series, the micro one-shots, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and Splinter. So, to me, this is the best incarnation of Ninja Turtles. I've said it before. I've done an overview of these books. Whenever the new ones come out, I love doing overviews of them. It got no better than this. And I'm a fan of the video games, the original comics, the cartoons, and this, to me, was the best incarnation. Absolutely loved it. Next up is ELVIRA, Mistress of the Dark. Not just because I interviewed her. Might have a little to do with it, but because this is a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to read. Paul Dini, like, there's a lot of talent that went into this particular book that I didn't know had worked on the original stuff. This is the original stuff that was published by, what was it, Claypool Comics. So not just Paul Dini, but you also have Kurt Busiek in there, Richard Howe, Frank Strom, and just to name a few, Dave Cockrum. I forgot, yeah, I showed a Dave Cockrum page. Published by Dynamite, and this collects the first 27 issues of the 1993 series, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. $49.99. Yes, I can't. Of course I have to. This is probably more for me than like, hey, you gotta buy this. But it's definitely one that I want to check out. Excalibur Omnibus Volume 2. I mentioned when I was doing the upcoming collected editions, like I had a small role to play in this, because I suggested making the Chris Claremont, Alan Davis omnibus into an Excalibur Volume 1. And I was like, I know it will sell. If not as much, more than an Excalibur by Claremont and Davis. And David agreed and ran with that suggestion. And now we have a Volume 2, man. So you all did that. You all bought Excalibur Volume 1, which is still coming back into print. I know I said it was in April. But it might be delayed. I'm going to double check with Marvel to see when that's coming back. But that way you can get your hand on that. And because I know overseas you all had a lot of trouble finding it. And now we have Volume 2. Collecting issues 35 through 67. Excalibur Weird War 3. Possession, Heir Apparent. XX Crossing. The Double X Crossing. Which has some early Joe Mad art. As a matter of fact, so does issues 57 and 58 of Excalibur. Sensational She-Hulk 26 and material from Marvel Comics Presents 75 and 110. I love this era. It's the return of Alan Davis. Oh, man. Yes. We did it. The Flintstones, the Deluxe Edition. The main reason I want to check this out is because whenever this is a book, I'll be honest, that I was like, the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo. And I caught myself because when I was a foolish young kid in high school working at a comic book store, I did the exact same reaction with Uncle Scrooge comics. Get out of here, man. Boy, if I could go back in time and smack myself in the head, okay, that would be one of the times. Then I would save myself from getting married. Probably did not invest in that one. Anyway, it's the same thing. I don't want to whatever, Flintstones. I really want to read it because a lot of you all have told me it's good. Like, it's better than it should be. This is by Mark Russell, Steve Pugh supplying a lot of the artwork. Collecting the Flintstones 1 through 12. And the big thing in here, Booster Gold Flintstone special. Baby, I'm all in, man. That's cool. I didn't know there was a Booster Gold Flintstone special. Stephen Pugh, by the way, he's the gentleman that did Animal Man. And I'm in for Mark Russell. Like, I really dig a lot of the stuff that he's written. So, I want to check out what this is. I know we have, like, Scooby-Doo and a bunch of other books out there from the Hanna-Barbera years. But, yeah, definitely want to check that out. New Mutants Omnibus Volume 2. You're probably like, oh my gosh, dude, all you're suggesting is X-Men titles. What? I am the Uncanny Omar. It's not like I'm web-slinging Omar or, DC Omar. But I'm still putting DC books in here. And other books. Anyway, New Mutants, come on. New Mutants Volume 2. This is the remaining of Chris Claremont's run. You have some early Louise Simonson stuff in here. Tom DeFalco, Butch Guice, Barry Windsor-Smith supplying the cover. Keep that in mind, though. The cover, this is the only one that's going to be available that date in February 15th. The Arthur Adams cover will be available March 1st. So this collects New Mutants 35 through 54, wrapping up Chris Claremont's run. Annuals 2 through 3, Special Edition number 1, yes, with that wonderful, beautiful artwork by Arthur Adams. X-Men Annuals 9 and 10. Power Pack 20 and 33. Fallen Angels. All 8 issues of Fallen Angels. Who asked for that? I would have been pissed if they weren't included in here. Oh. And Firestar. I'm so glad they put Firestar in here. The 4-issue miniseries. War Children of 2019. If you ever watch our Map My X, and I promise I want to bring it back, that is the one thing we left out of this collection that we didn't say would be in there if they were to do a New Mutants Omnibus Volume 2. So, when we map New Mutants Omnibus Volume 3, I hope we mapped it right. Material from Web of Spider-Man Annual number 2. Yes, absolutely. Rumiko Takahashi's Came, the Mirror, and Other Tales. It's an anthology series of 5 different stories. I don't think they're interconnected, but they're all magical type of stories. It's Rumiko Takahashi. It's anthology. I hope they reprint all her anthology series, whether it's Rumik Theater or Rumik World, because everybody needs to read these. They're a lot of fun. This is definitely stuff I would recommend to people that don't particularly like manga or comics, but want to try just dipping their toes into something a little bit different. Rumiko Takahashi is one of my favorite mangaka. The Essential Judge Dredd, Volume 4, Dredd vs. Death. I had to throw this in here. This is some of my favorite stories by Brian Boland, and it's both of these characters. This is when I really got into Judge Dredd, and I promise I'm still going to do an overview of those next books. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes in my personal life. On top of that, I got sick, so... and I promise I don't really talk about personal things because my job is to entertain people and to let you all know what's coming out and stuff. But there were things that have kept me from doing more videos and more reading than I should have. And I'll explain what that is one day. I promise. Soon. But this collects a lot of stuff in here, not just by Brian Boland, but of course John Wagner, Alan Grant, Pat Mills, Cliff Robinson, Robin Smith, Brett Ewins, Brian Talbot, and Alex Ronald. Oh, yeah. If you've never read Judge Dredd, this is probably some of the best stories that will get you hooked. It's in big, oversized magazine format, which I think it's the same format that the original stories were published in. Case files are a little bit smaller. Last, but certainly not least, I am going to recommend JODOROWSKY, para los que hablan español y pueden pronunciar su nombre. Library of Sun, Uncanny Omar. Spell, write, talk. Man, I'm running on Steam, guys. Been sick, so let's library edition, Son of Gun, PIETROLINO. So this is one that is drawn by George Best. That's the Son of the Gun, and I've read that one, but I've not read PIETROLINO. So if you're used to Jodo's work and sci-fi fantasy, this is nothing like that. This shows his other stuff that he had. He's got a huge range. So it's got, like a modern Western, I guess, would be the way to describe Son of the Gun. And Pietrolino, which I've never read, is a heart-wrenching tale of a mime in Nazi-occupied France. Man, that is... you're in for some tears there. But when these books come out, or if you want to pre-order them, don't forget to check out our sponsors. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely in an excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries, extremely careful and sturdy packaging, emails are answered within 24 hours, and they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. And those were my top 10 recommended buys, must-reads, essential buys, suggested list. Let me know in the comments down below which ones you would have bought, or what are your top 10? Top 5, top 3, however long your list is. Let me know. Put those comments down below. Sometimes I look at the lists and I like to compare, and I'm like, oh man, how did I miss that? I should have gone with that. But big thank you again to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications. All of that does help with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. And thank you all so much again. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.